understood is that CAT is not about your intelligence. It's a mind game. It's more of a mind game to understand how many questions, how much time you have. DILR, I believe more sets, of course, do help, but I kept revisiting the previous sets that we had solved because the concepts do remain the same. So for DILR, that really helped. It's great that you score less in mocks because that means that you'll score great in CAT. And I think Hani sir also used to say that. So it's better to score bad in mocks than the actual exam. And then this interviewer goes, what is the problem with technical jobs? Do they not pay you enough? I would say just close your eyes and trust them 100%, because I keep saying this to everybody around me, whoever is asking me, that this choosing EG was the best decision I could have made in my first attempt.
So hello Kanishka, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also doing well. So first of all, a huge congratulations on securing your FMS Delhi convert.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm very excited to hear all about your journey. So let's start the interview. Share a little bit about your journey so far, your background, school, colleges, and what were you doing before CAT?
So my name is Kanishka. I'm from Chandigarh, where I did my schooling, 10th and 12th. And post that, I pursued my undergraduation in urban design from CEPT University in Ahmedabad. So urban design, urban planning is sort of how cities are planned, and it also inculcates architecture. So that's what I did in my UG. And towards the end of my degree, I realized that I wanted to do more. I was not interested in core design, but I explored subjects like project finance, project management. And this led me to moving towards an MBA, thinking about how I can combine it with my design degree. And then post my graduation, I decided to prepare for CAT and gave the exam in November.
So basically, you wanted to gain new skills. That's why you opted
Yes.
for MBA.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. Also, were you working while preparing for
So,
CAT?
yeah, so I graduated in May 2024. Post that, I did some freelance research work for about 4 to 5 months. And then in the last 2 months of CAT, I was dedicatedly preparing for the exam only. And I think the most helpful thing for me was joining Elitesgrid, because everything was structured. I didn't have to think about what I have to do. I was given the correct guidance. I was given the correct direction. So it was just about trusting the process, trusting the teachers. And that really helped me stay confident. Yeah.
So from which colleges did you receive calls and which are the ones that you have successfully converted so far?
So I received calls from IIM Calcutta, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore, and FMS Delhi and XLRI, both courses. And as of now, I've converted FMS Delhi, and I'm on the waitlist for XLRI HR, a convertible waitlist. So these two are the ones I've converted, and I'm waiting for the other results.
So was this your first attempt at CAT or you appeared earlier as well?
Yes, it was my first attempt.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what is your percentile this year?
I scored a 99.42 in CAT.
Lovely. Every student faces their share of ups and downs, right, throughout the
Right.
preparation, especially when things didn't work out. And initial days, as you said, you were working, then you focused solely preparation. So how did you stay motivated through those tough days, and how did you structure your schedule so that you can solely prepare for CAT?
So I joined the alpha batch of Elitesgrid, which started in about May. And I used to work for around 4 to 5 hours a day with the research I was doing, and the rest of the time I dedicated to CAT preparation. And one thing I decided early on was that there shouldn't be even one day where I miss any of the three subjects. So I dedicated at least 2 hours to each subject every day, which really helped me in each of them. So my focus was not that I have to do exceptionally well in either one. I was focused on doing equally good in all of them, so that if there's a slight chance of error in one, I can take it up in the other. So I used to dedicate at least 2 hours to each subject every day. And this was based on the entire schedule that was given to us on a platter by Hani sir and Gaurav sir and Shazar sir. And I think the last 2 months were the most crucial ones, where we gave 3 to 4 mocks a week. And what really helped then was the kind of discussions that we had about the mocks. Like the preparation in the first 4 months was very different, because then you're building your knowledge base and skills, but actually applying it and understanding how to apply it was the most crucial part. So the discussions really helped a lot. Doubt clearing sessions really helped a lot. I personally am someone who doesn't speak up a lot easily, but I would read each and every doubt that everybody else posted. So that was very helpful as well for the preparation in the last 2 months.
Okay, so each section of CAT, whether it's Quant or VRC or DILR, bring its own set of challenges, right? So
Right.
was there any section that you initially found very tough than the others?
So I come from a design background, and I had lost touch with all of these subjects since a while. So I thought that quant would be quite difficult for me. But it turned out that I was struggling more with VARC, because it's very tricky. Like
Yes.
the first time you solve it and everything goes wrong and you're just baffled that what just happened. So the initial phase was of getting 0 marks, but then slowly what helped me with VARC specifically was solving previous year questions, because they really give an idea about what actually comes in the paper, because there are so many resources that we get from so many places that make it either too easy or too difficult. So previous year really helped me a lot. And I had the most fun with DILR because I found it really interesting. The way sir taught also was really interesting, and the way they would joke around in classes made it not so intimidating, and it was really good preparing for quant and DILR both.
Okay, so how many full and mock tests did you give throughout the preparation?
I don't remember a number, but I think around 50. Around 50.
Okay, great. Students generally avoid mock tests because they feel demotivated when they don't score well.
It did happen initially. It's about understanding. What I have understood is that CAT is not about your intelligence. It's a mind game. It's more of a mind game to understand how many questions, how much time you have, analyzing that, understanding that. So giving mocks was more number of mocks was the best decision, I believe.
Yes, so you attempted so many mocks to stay in practice.
Yes. Yes.
So can you walk us through your mock test analysis strategy?
After every mock test, on the same day, after a couple of hours, I would check the discussion, the answers, and I had a notebook where I would first, of course, do the ones that I wasn't able to solve, or check that was it the easy ones that I wasn't able to solve, or are they the ones to be left. And one thing that I also learned from sir was that you have to analyze, especially for VARC, what went right, so that you take those strategies and apply them in the next mock. So I would write each strategy down, that this is how this was the thought process behind my answer, and this is how the question was framed. So doing it right on the day of the mock was very helpful, because it's right still in your mind, and you can analyze your mistakes better. You know what was going on in your head when you answered. And I would take 2 days at least after each mock, so that I can still revise my concepts and not fatigue my brain also by giving too many mocks.
Yes, that's really great how you approached your analysis part. Also, the impressive part is that you jot down your correct approach of VRC, which student doesn't do, and they forget that what was their approach, how did they score well in the previous mock, and they are struggling in this one. So that's really great. Also, giving mock test and covering topics are not only important, but revision part is also very important, right? So how did you approach your revision?
So I believe the last month I solely dedicated to mocks and revision. And for quant, with every topic that we covered in class starting May, I had prepared revision notes along with our class notes. So I had 2 notebooks just for revision of quants. So that was really helpful. DILR, I believe more sets, of course, do help, but I kept revisiting the previous sets that we had solved, because the concepts do remain the same. So for DILR, that really helped. And similarly for VARC, after every few weeks, I would go back to the RCs I had solved initially and then resolve them and see what was the difference. And then I would write that down and see if I answered the correct questions wrong or if I answered the wrong question rightly. So revision was very, very crucial in the last 1 month, but along with the mocks.
Also, you gave mocks, you'll remember. So there are days now where before 30 to 45 days before CAT, there are 1 or 2 mocks that doesn't go well, and students get panic. So what was the situation then, and how did you manage that situation?
Right. So I would get very baffled what just happened. And then I would probably take a while to take it in that, am I not preparing well? This the whole cycle of questioning yourself of, am I even good enough to give it? And then I used to do yoga and meditate to calm myself down. And then I would take a break. I would go get a coffee outside. I would go meet someone to ground myself and remind myself that this is not the actual paper. And I have a friend who would always say that it's great that you score less in mocks, because that means that you'll score great in CAT. And I think Kanishka also used to say that. So it's better to score bad in mocks than the actual exam. So I used to keep reminding myself that it becomes very daunting, but it does help. Talking to people really does help, to your family and friends. It's really important during this time.
Okay, so when you get stressed, then you take a short break, talk to your friends or mentors of EG, and then you again freshen up, and then you again start with your analysis and see wherever you are wrong and then rectify that. That's great.
Yeah.
So many students also appears for other entrance exam alongside CAT, right? So did you appear for any other exam?
Yeah, so I appeared for NMAT. I scored around a 260 in that, but I didn't take it further because there was a whole new process that was introduced this time. And I also gave ZAT. I scored 99.72 in ZAT. And for ZAT also, after CAT, it's very difficult to convince yourself to sit and study and give another exam. But as always, Hani sir was there to help us with everything. So yeah, it went well as well.
MAT and ZAT are a bit different. All the three
Right.
exams are different. Throughout the year, you prepared for CAT. Then, what was your strategy to prepare for the UMED part?
So for NMAT, I gave 2 or 3 mocks. I gave it just a few days after CAT. So just the mocks and getting a hold of the kind of process that is there for NMAT, the speed-based test. And for ZAT specifically, I did all around 10-year previous year questions. And the most crucial part was the decision-making section, which was, I think a few days before ZAT, Honey sir made this PDF with sentences that this does not mean this means this. And I think that is what really helped. And it was just blindly trusting them. And Quant and VRC were fairly easier than CAT, I would say. But decision making was quite difficult and daunting. So around a month, I prepared for that.
Okay, so for ZAT and NMAT also, you took EG's resources and then you prepared for it.
Yes, yes.
So directly now coming back to the interview stage.
Yeah.
So can you share how you prepared for your VAT and personal interview?
Yeah, so for PI, the GDPR round also, I had joined Elitesgrid Alpha batch. And initially, I was very confused as to now what am I supposed to do? And then we started getting messages in the group that, this is how you're supposed to start and everything. And then they scheduled some mentors for us and mocks. And I remember scheduling the first mock was the most difficult thing I had to do because I was really scared because I had never given an interview like this. Even for my UG admission, it was just an exam. So scheduling that mock itself was extremely difficult, but I did that and the mentor was so helpful. They sat with me for at least an hour and a half, took the interview for an hour and then explained it for another hour that this is how you're supposed to go forward. And that really helped me into opening myself up and understanding how to go about this. And then I gave around 5 to 6 mocks uh, for the interview. And mostly it was that, and then noting down the mistakes I made in the previous mock and what feedback they give so that I can take that up in the next interview and not make those mistakes. So the mocks were the best part about interview preparation.
Mock interviews helped you to be confident in the D-Day interview as well.
Exactly.
Also,
It felt as if I was giving another mock.
very nice. So, keeping up with the current affairs is also very crucial for B-School interviews, right? So,
Right.
what are the topics that you focused on related to current affairs?
Mostly, I believe that geopolitics, economics, and business and finance are the ones that I would focus on. But I used to read the newspaper every day in the morning and also make notes about that so that I can also remember it when I have to revise it. So, and plus we had classes as well. The Panchi ma'am took classes for economics that really cleared our basics for current affairs because usually we don't end up talking about geopolitics or say what's happening with tariffs in normal life. So keeping up with it was an extra process that had to be done. But just the newspaper reading was very useful.
Can you name some newspapers that you read for your mock interview for your interviews?
So I used to read the Indian Express, the Economic Times, and also the Economist that comes weekly.
So, do you remember any question that the panelist asked you that went beyond academics and you felt stuck or unsure about the answer? And how did you handle that situation?
I think mostly since I come from a different background, my interviews revolved around why do you want to do an MBA? And every panelist had a very different view about it. So some were ready to listen. Okay, they thought, okay, what you're saying makes sense. And then specifically in my FMS interview, like this discussion about why MBA went on for around, I think 7 to 8 minutes. And we're discussing and they're saying who will do the technical jobs. Everybody wants to be a manager, stuff like that. And then this interviewer goes, what is the problem with technical jobs? Do they not pay you enough? And I was like, this is my last interview. I'll be candid. I said, they do not pay us enough. The architects and urban planners are really underpaid, undervalued. And I don't know if that helped or what helped, but they get too candid sometimes. And you're like, now what do I say?
So, you mentioned that EG was there with you throughout the preparation, starting from the preparation for CAT, then for NMAT, then for ZAT, and then for mock interviews throughout. So, if a fellow CAT aspirant asked you for your opinion on EG, then what would you share?
I would say just close your eyes and trust them 100% because I keep saying this to everybody around me, whoever is asking me, that this choosing EG was the best decision I could have made in my first attempt. Like I honestly could not have thought that I would be able to come this far and be able to clear the interviews, not just CAT, not just the preparation. And I completely dedicated to EG. They support they supported me 100%, even as a silent observer. Like, I've never personally messaged sir also, but everything they have done for us is unbelievable. And the amount of dedication and hard work sir puts in, I don't think we all do either. So 100%, like 100% se bhi zyada, I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, apart from hard work and perseverance, correct mentorship is also very important for preparing
Very
for
true.
CAT. It's very competitive.
Very
Yes.
true.
Yes. So lastly, what is that one thing that students often overlook during the preparation? Like, if they had to pay more attention to that, then could have significantly boost their chances of scoring well and getting into top B schools. So what is that one thing that they overlook during the preparation?
I think I mentioned this also, that we think that it's about how much knowledge you have, how much you study, what is the content you cover, but it's more about your strategies, and it's more about how you prepare your mind for the D-Day. So preparing specific strategies for each section is very, very important. We often tend to overlook कि ठीक है sir ने बोला कि you categorize questions in quant, but when you're in the exam room, you get baffled and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. So giving mocks with those strategies and preparing those strategies through the mocks is very, very important. And the other thing that I believe is that you need to stop questioning yourself, because I think the preparation journey is such that at after every few days, you would feel like, why am I doing this? Or what do I do now? So trusting the process, talking to people and talking to your mentors specifically, and just listening to them is something that you should do as a top priority.
Okay, that's such a valuable insight. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey with us.
Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you.
A huge congratulations once again on securing a spot at FMS Delhi. I'm
Thank,
sure you will excel in the next chapter of your journey. Wishing you luck as you start this next exciting
thank you
new
so
chapter.
much. Thank you.